Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the rise and fall of Spider-Man cartoons. This should be interesting. The rise and fall of Spider-Man cartoons. Probably because they never stay consistent with them. They always trade. They always either either the show is really good, but for some odd reason the network just cancels it for no fucking reason. That's really the history of Spider-Man. It's like they always got a good cartoon going, but it always gets canceled. Where we talk about the Fox Kids Spider-Man, the MTV Adult Spider-Man, all these shits be good, but the networks be canceling them. They be doing numbers, they be doing good, and the network will still cancel it for some odd reason. I don't know why. Either I don't know why that is, but hopefully this video gives us some more explanation towards that. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
Spider-Man is one of those heroes, like Batman and Superman, who's been a part of nearly every generation's childhood thanks to his animated series. Now, with a new animated Spider-Man series just around the corner, it feels like the perfect time to take a look back at the highs, the lows, and the weird animated series that Spidey has had over the years. It's the 1960s. The Beatles are everywhere. Space exploration is the buzz, and TV is getting its color upgrade. Enter Spider-Man's first animated series in 1967. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. This series was an important moment for Spider-Man, bringing him to the world of television. The first season had a light-hearted tone with colorful and a simple animation. The show gave us some of the earliest depictions of iconic Spidey villains like Green Goblin, Vulture, and Electro. The series had its charm but was undeniably a product of its limited budget. Scenes were often reused, especially those of Spidey swinging through New York. The focus was primarily on Spider-Man's adventures rather than Peter Parker's personal life, making the show more about the hero than the man behind the mask. Its episodic structure kept things simple and fun, which worked well for the era but hasn't aged well. Jumping to 1981, Spider-Man came back with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
And his amazing friends, Iceman and Firestar.
These series saw Peter balancing college life and hero duties alongside Iceman and Firestar. One cool thing about Firestar is that she was created specifically for the show because they couldn't secure the rights to Human Torch. The series has its charm. I was born in 2001, but I watched this show a lot, and it was one of my first introductions to Spider-Man and the Marvel Universe as a whole. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was fun to see Peter teaming up with other superheroes. And so, we arrive at the 90s, a golden age for superhero animation, and Spider-Man, the animated series, was no exception. 5 seasons, 65 episodes, and it marked a turning point for Spidey on TV. Peter is an adult here, juggling life as a superhero, college student, and freelance photographer. It gave us classic villains like Venom, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Carnage, and even crossovers with other Marvel heroes. The animation aged well, and so did the series writing. I used to binge watch this show every morning before school, and I think it was the first animated series that made me care about Peter and his supporting characters. The previous series were very focused on Spider-Man and basically ignored Peter's personal side, which I understand because it sold better and kids wanted to see the superhero side more. But this series showed why Peter was chosen to be a hero, his motivations, his nightmares, and everything else. It was in this animation that I saw more of Mary Jane's personality, the love between her and Peter. I think this series was incredibly important in inspiring me to dive into the world of comics later on. Thanks to this series, I saw villains like Scorpion, a solid adaptation of the symbiote saga, and even the Spider-Verse before it became a major concept. Despite the censorship of the time that prohibited punches, the show delivered creative action and emotionally rich storytelling. For many, it's the purest definition of peak animation. As the 90s ended, we got Spider-Man Unlimited in 1999. This series took a bold and unexpected direction, sending Peter Parker to a futuristic alternate Earth known as Counter-Earth. The plot kicked off with Peter chasing Venom and Carnage, who had hijacked a spaceship to this strange new world. On Counter-Earth, Peter finds a society ruled by animal-human hybrids called Bestials, led by the High Evolutionary. The series is incredible visually. Peter's nanotech suit, built by Reed Richards, has a unique style that stands out, and the depiction of Counter-Earth is fascinating. While the concept was ambitious, the series struggled to find its footing. Fans were divided on the drastic change in setting and tone, and it didn't help that the show lasted only one season due to low ratings and
It didn't help that we left the original Spider-Man off on a fucking cliffhanger, and we didn't get a goddamn conclusion to the old Spider-Man. That's what really pissed a lot of people off. Outside of that, this show was I fuck with this show. I thought this show was pretty solid for what it was. It was just we still have to get the old Spider-Man. What about that? What we gonna do about that one? That we left off on a cliffhanger. The fuck?
Production challenges. Still, Spider-Man Unlimited deserves credit for its creativity and willingness to take risks. It might not have been everyone's favorite, but it stands out as a unique experiment in Spidey's animated history. Speaking of experiments, in 2003, we got Spider-Man, the new animated series on MTV. This one went 3D and aimed for a darker tone. While it borrowed elements from Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie, it wasn't a direct sequel. The animation existed in a space where studios were riding the wave of superhero movie successes and trying to capture some of that magic in animated form. Harry Osborn is blonde, perhaps to differentiate him from other characters, and his story revolves around facing his father's legacy, uncovering who he truly was, and fearing that he might become like him. Mary Jane here has a personality similar to the MJ from Sam Raimi's movies, but also carries much from the comics, and the relationship between her and Peter is actually quite interesting. You can see the romantic tension between them develop as the series progresses, and it's not a superficial relationship. It's clear that Mary Jane and Peter have their issues. She feels lonely, and Peter constantly struggles to balance his heroic life with his normal one. The show modernized classic Spider-Man themes for a new generation, and it's no surprise that Brian Michael Bendis, the writer of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, was involved in its creation. It also gave us a more serious and conflicted Spider-Man. In one episode, Peter essentially tries to end Kraven's life. Imagine transitioning from the 90s era, where Spider-Man couldn't even throw a punch, to seeing him almost kill Kraven. It's not the most beloved Spider-Man animation and only lasted one season, but I really enjoyed it. 2008's Spectacular Spider-Man is widely considered the best Spidey series in adaptations, and that starts with the intro, which is easily the best among all the animations of Spidey. I love how Peter is portrayed here, and it gave us one of the best scenes across all Spider-Man adaptations.
Except I saved him. Spider-Man's no magic wand, but thanks to the webhead, Kurt's cured, and Billy gets his father back. So what if nobody threw a parade? Spidey stays because Spidey's needed. For now, anyway.
But Peter isn't the only positive aspect. We have a perfect adaptation of Mary Jane, and Gwen Stacy, even though not identical to her comic counterpart, is incredibly charismatic. The relationship between Norman and Harry is another highlight of the show. Aunt May also plays a significant role, and I love how the series shows both Peter and her still adapting to life without Uncle Ben. The villains, in particular, are some of the best adaptations seen in any Spider-Man media. Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Sandman, and the list goes on. The visual style also gives the series a unique edge, making it a perfect blend of script and animation. The 90s series got a lot right, but this is on another level. The episodes never feel slow, and I'd even argue that Peter is handled better here than in the comics of recent years. I have so many favorite scenes, from when Peter is separating from the symbiote and Uncle Ben helps him emerge from the darkness, to how characters grow from where they start at the beginning of the season to where they end. Unfortunately, the Disney-Sony deal cut this masterpiece short after just 2 seasons. I watch this series every year because it's simply fantastic. And after that Disney-Sony agreement to create a new Spider-Man animation, we entered what I consider the decline of Spider-Man's animated series. Disney's takeover brought Ultimate Spider-Man in 2012. It had Spidey breaking the fourth wall and teaming up with other young heroes like Nova, White Tiger, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. The humor was hit or miss, but arcs like the Spider-Verse episodes stood out. The series very loosely adapted the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but it didn't come close to matching their quality. Visually, it was appealing, with good action scenes, but that's about where the positives end. The characters felt generic, and every moment had to include humor, often forced and overly childish. Peter, in particular, was reduced to a generic character who constantly tried to be funny with super infantile jokes. It felt like the series lacked heart, with many decisions seeming forced, like Peter suddenly owning a motorcycle for no clear reason. It was
Yeah,
clear
that's
this
kinda
animation
wild.
targeted a new, younger audience, prioritizing simplicity and toy sales.
Nah, this was toy sales. This was automatically toy sales. This was nothing more than toy sales, bro. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not going for this. Just looking at this, yeah, this was a cash grab. This wasn't, they didn't put, yeah. I never watched this because, like I said, I was done with cartoons after this. My cartoon days, my cartoon watching days was over. 2012, yeah, my cartoon watching days was over. I was outside. I was outside with them hoes, man. But, but this shit right here, you could tell this is a straight cash grab by Disney, bro.
Over meaningful storytelling. The series has its good moments, but they are so few. Everything they tried, Spectacular Spider-Man did better. There are strange decisions, like making Harry use the symbiote, which could have been interesting. The concept is good and visually striking, but the script is mediocre, a recurring issue throughout the show's 4 seasons.
Yep.
Then came Marvel's Spider-Man in 2017. Let's just say it didn't hit the mark. The animation felt rushed, and suddenly everyone had spider powers. And for some reason, when Miles became Spider-Man, he was given the name Spidey. I'm not going to say much more about the series, because it's clear from a distance that it followed strict orders from Disney or Marvel Studios. It's simply a soulless series. If Ultimate Spider-Man tried and failed at something, this show didn't even try. But there's hope on the horizon. The trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has left a good impression, exploring Peter's early days as Spidey. With top-tier talent involved, this could be the fresh start we've been waiting for. The 3D animation pays homage to the art style of early The Amazing Spider-Man comics. The animation was provided by Polygon Pictures. Some characters were even designed to resemble their original looks from early Marvel comics. Plus, it's set in another universe, separate from the main MCU continuity, allowing for fresh storytelling. Fingers crossed it lives up to the hype. Spider-Man is such an important character to me. I grew up with his animations and movies, and they've shaped my love for superheroes. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks for watching, and let me know your favorite Spidey series in the comments below. Until next
Alrighty, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Most definitely, man. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like when Disney completely took over for Marvel, yeah, it looked like they was just looking for cash grabs at this point and making soulless projects. Just like they doing right now. Just doing cash grab after cash grab after cash grab, and you just sitting up here like, why are you ruining so many great iconic IPs just for the sake of money? That's greedy, bruh. Stop that shit. But anyways, though, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.